Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Thursday. My favourite day of the week. It always is. I don't know why. It always has been. Hope you are safe and well. If you're around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe, why don't you? Thanks for joining us as per usual. Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Earlier this morning, we did a whole piece. Anton did a piece about Maxwell Cornet. Could he be our secret weapon as we enter this crazy April? And actually, I was reading an article on the BBC website, actually, which was quite interesting. It was talking about all the 9 clubs who could potentially be relegated and gives like a little footnote. And the one for West Ham was only the Premier League's top 7 teams have had more goal attempts than West Ham this season. Isn't it? It's interesting. And it's what I say, it's not like this is the way we played has not changed. It's just we're not scoring the bloody goals. And that proves it, in the sort of top 7, top 8 for goal attempts. And where last year we were scoring them, now we're not. And you get also on only 5 of the top 7 plus Chelsea have conceded fewer goals than West Ham's 309 this season as well. If you take out obviously the drubbing from Brighton, yeah, just thought I'd share it because I saw it and I thought, that's quite interesting. But anyway, Hammer's headlines, 3 stories. The first story is about our wages, and obviously, talking about relegation, talking about what's going to happen. Wages is often it's looked at, and it's something that we have to sort of bear in mind. So accounts posted by footballing expert Kieran Maguire show the full extent of West Ham's wage bill, and it actually may come as a bit of a surprise to some people. It might not show on the pitch, but West Ham have spent an unprecedented amount of money in the summer. The Hammers then followed up with obviously Danny Ings in January. And it brings Moyes' total transfer spend over the last 4 windows, considering he didn't actually spend in 1 or 2 of them, to £250 million, with 65 million spent in the summer of 2021. Also, we spent big during the Pellegrini year as well, splurging, good word, splurging £166 million on transfers, not including signing on fees and a host of free agents as well. Now, obviously, we've got many clubs, particularly in the Premier League, have tried to live beyond their means over the years, overstretching themselves, particularly in terms of wage bills, and end up in serious financial difficulty. We've seen that. Everton, they're having an FFP? They've got an FFP thing against them at the moment, and it makes worrying listening, really. But reports have abounded about West Ham facing the prospect of big wage cuts should we face the drop, with most fans also realistic enough to accept that the majority of our big earners would probably leave or would be sold should West Ham be relegated into the Championship. The likes of Paqueta and people like that, you would imagine, be moved on pretty sharpish. The worry is that a club like West Ham, for example, will saddle itself because of the wage structure, an unsustainable wage structure. I don't know how many of our current crop have a relegation clause in their sort of contract. But as I said, accounts from Kieran Maguire have come as a bit of a surprise to some people in terms of the wages. He's revealed that the West Ham wage bill in the latest set of accounts is running at 136 million quid, which sounds like, well, it's a lot of money in it to us. It's a lot of money. But in relative terms, like amongst the rest of the Premier League, it isn't actually. Man United top the charts with a wage bill standing at nearly 3 times West Ham, £384 million. Spurs are paying out over 200 million, while Everton, Villa, and Leicester rather, and the other rest of the big 6, the greedy 6, have higher wage bills than West Ham. We're actually 10th in the list. And Kieran's put some great charts together. I think Brentford rather have got I think they're at least £68 million, I think. So we spend double them. Look where they are in the league, for God's sake. Brighton £115 million, and look where they are in the league. But when you look at wage versus income, I think we're only at about 48%. which is one of the best. I think Spurs is top with 47%, and bottom, I believe, is Everton with 95% of their income goes into wages, which is incredible, really, when you think about it. So that so it's not. Yes, we'll probably if we did get relegated, and the latest supercomputer puts us at 18% chance of being relegated, then obviously we've got a lot of assets to sell, basically, and so it's one of those things where it's worth looking at that. It's not, the wage bill isn't going to be totally unsustainable if we went into the Championship. But as I said, check out Kieran Maguire's Twitter account, and it's all in there. And as and when I think there's still about 6 or 7 clubs who haven't put their accounts in for the financial year, so he'll be updating that all the time. It's a really good source of just interesting football finance news if you're interested that way. Let's talk about next season. Let's talk about next season, shall we? Now, obviously, Mr. Carrick, Mr. Michael Carrick, his rise at Middlesbrough has caught the eye of many people. But apparently, according to a report from Gimme Sports, it's also apparently, sort of intrigued Mr. Sullivan. So obviously, we're embroiled in this sort of relegation dogfight at the moment, and Moyes' future as a manager has been called into question by fans and pundits, and obviously the Hammers have, the board have chose to stick with him. But an article back in a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the Sunday Mirror, I think it was also in the Times, I want to say, as well, and a couple of other news sources, sort of mid-March, mentioned the Hammers have earmarked the former Manchester United caretaker manager and player as their next manager to replace Moyes at the end of the season, after swiftly transforming Middlesbrough into promotional candidates. He's taken them from bottom to top. It's quite a mesmeric rise, and the football they're playing is really good as well. The article sort of goes on and says, owner Sullivan has been keen to stick by Moyes, believing there are a few other managers who would be able to offer a guarantee of a turnaround. Yet there are also a big number of names on the managerial free market list right now, and the intriguing rise of Michael Carrick has also caught the eye of some around the club. Sullivan has not yet set his mind to any firm decision, though, and he's obviously is to attend the Southampton game at the weekend, as obviously we fight for our top flight status. But the prospect of maybe Carrick replacing Moyes is certainly a tempting one, I would say, considering the great job he's done at Middlesbrough. He's a West Ham academy player. He's speaking about the 1999 FA Youth Cup side. He was part of that side, and so obviously then went into and broke into the first team, and then had a fantastic career outside of West Ham. Obviously, Spurs and Man United, and to be honest, should have had a lot more England caps. That's for sure. He's made a superb start to his managerial career at the Riverside. He's won 16 of his 23 games so far, so it's no wonder that Borough are one of the top candidates to maybe gain promotion back to the Premier League next year. By all accounts, and just the way he played football, he's very calm, cool, very calculated, thinks steps ahead. He was always that type of player as well, and he's taken that into his managerial style. He makes him potentially the ideal man to lead West Ham into this new campaign, maybe, or the next one on the list. And apparently he's expected to be at the top of a supposed shortlist of candidates. If that's true, great. If it's not, well, it's good to know that that people are still talking about him because he's doing a great job. I mean, the summer's going to be a huge summer for West Ham. Regardless of who's sitting in the dugout, the squad, there's players' contracts coming to the end. There's potentially Declan Rice leaving. So how that money coming in is reallocated to improve the squad, so we don't have a situation like we've got currently this year. We could win the Europa Conference League, which means we've got Europa League football next year. So again, that gives it some guaranteed money in terms of we go into the group stages, a guaranteed stage. So we've got that money in the bank already. And also the caliber of people we could potentially bring in terms of signing. Incidentally, another man we've been linked with in terms of Will Still, the REM manager, we can exclusively reveal on the West Ham network that he has been stopped from doing any more press interviews or any sort of commenting on any thing outside of what is REM in terms of contractual obligations, in terms of the matches and things like that. Apparently, his club have become very frustrated and annoyed about the constant noise about him leaving Rem to become the West Ham manager, and that is from the horse's mouth, as exclusively revealed by DJ Rusty B. So yeah, look, I don't like talking about a new manager coming in with the current manager in place, but it's been some stories that have been coming out, so that's why we report it for you. Obviously, we'll see what happens in it. What happens, as we all know. It's the West Ham way. And finally, a story that was that we covered a little while ago, but it's been sort of confirmed a bit more via the club. Christian Hegyi, the West Ham under-21 goalkeeper, is hoping to be sent out on loan next season to further his development. He's currently third choice, I'd say, behind Fabianski and Areola, potentially fourth choice really with Jason Vanang now back. And he's made the first team bench a number of times this season, particularly Fabianski's recent injury, although he's back. Although if he does play against Southampton, the chances are, although he's training without a mask, he would have to wear a mask for the match itself, apparently. He's only 20, and he set his sights on senior football next season in order to stake a claim at East London for the number 1 jersey further down the line. Having seen his mates, the likes of Joseph Anang, go out on short-term loans. Nathan Trotz, obviously, at the Danish side. Vasia Bolkop. He's open to a move to a Football League club to aid his development. He was quoted on the website saying, "I'd like next year to make another step and get some first-team football under my belt. If I can get a loan in the EFL, that would be incredible. It's massive as a young goalkeeper to play for a club that has a procedure that knows what's going on to work for you and help you can even be better." Nathan's coming out on loan, gaining experience, and Joe was out on loan too, and now he's back with us, working with the team every day. Even in our group, Jacob Knightbridge is getting first-team experience out on loan. It'd be good for me to make use of that pathway. I'm going to make I'm sure it'll make a massive benefit to my own development. Most goalkeepers will go out on loan at some point when they're young, just to get the taste of first team football. It can help a lot. I want to get that experience under my belt so I can get closer to the ultimate goal of playing for West Ham United. What a level-headed bloke. What a level-headed young man. Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, so the chances are he'll be going for a summer loan move to a league side in the English pyramid. So yeah, good luck to him. Really sort of like genuine interview there, and it's really got a level-headed guy there, and he's highly regarded as a goalkeeper. And we've had him for a while now. We tracked him from a young age, and yeah, hopefully that makes sense in terms of the pathway. Particularly the likes of Areola still around, particularly like Fabianski. We've still got a 1-year option on him to take up for next year. Obviously Joseph Anang, Nathan Trotz, and then Hegyi. You'd imagine with all 5 of them back, Hegyi would be for a 5th choice anyway. So to get game time, it probably makes sense in terms of getting first team football. Anton always quotes a Ben Foster interview on his Fozcast when he was talking about playing first team football, and he was saying, look, any opportunity kids to go out on loan just to get first team football, just to be around it. And yeah, fair play to him. And that's it, my friends. Hope you had a nice rest of the day. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be having our 24-hour live stream for the Iron Supporting Food Banks Bring a Quid campaign kickoff in April. It starts at 5 p.m. We've got, as I said, Diamante interviews. We've got Shaka Hislop on. We've got Craig Forrest, a few other people sprinkled in, as well as over 12 or 13, I can't remember, I've lost count, other YouTube channels, West Ham YouTube channels, like Fulham Iron and Hammers Chat and Claret and Booze. Loads. We've got West Ham Irons channel. We've got E20 Zone. We've got the American Hammers Network. We've got loads. We've got Jake at West Ham Unofficial. We got obviously Graham from These Mama Brown as well. He's going to be appearing, and so loads of stuff there. So make sure you please check it out. As I said, it'll be on from 5 o'clock. So there'll always be something to watch. If there's nothing on telly, we'll be on all night and all morning and all Saturday afternoon as well. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you irons, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take